Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is my Grand Arbiter Augustin IV control deck.
Alright everybody, this is my Grand Arbiter control deck. This is of course the General. He's a little bit of a bear in terms of playing against other people because it makes everybody else's spells cost 1 more, whereas, you know, playing multicolored spells, you know, they cost 2 less, you know, they cost 1 less depending on the color. You know, and 2/3 is pretty good. So, basic lands, I run about 12 plains, 10 islands, and then about 15 non-basics. So, you know, there's the islands. So, you know, you get these two, some draw. This one's good especially for getting spells back, being able to search them out. We'll get to that. This one I don't actually see a lot of people getting play. You know, it kind of swaps things up for you. This one's good for kind of saving me out of huge damage problems, you know, especially once you get more into the late game and you get people kind of trying to overrun with ridiculous amounts of creatures. Some search, kazoo, you know, the maximum hand size is pretty standard. Fortress, wastes, you know, 2 for 1, some man lands, Halimar Depths, and command tower. So then we get to, you know, the basis of this deck is kind of trying to control people out, you know, basic control, you know, drawing as much as I can and then getting out some of the ridiculous win cons that I have built into it. You know, you got your, you know, classic 2. This one's a good one that you don't really see a lot of. Gaining life, you know, it's kind of like a, you know, like a misnomer in EDH, but it works. More train of thought's been really funny because people, you know, you don't really see it that much. So, Tutor. This is one of several little win cons. Of course, you try to, you know, you get the bottoming spells like Hinder and, you know, not Trickbind, but Hinder, spell Crumple, and then some of the other defensive spells, and then you just mill out the person's deck. This one's good for stopping, counter, you know, another bottom spell. So. Person thinks they're going to take you out with a swing, you get them with that. Crumple. This one's a nice one just because of the trip. You get an extra draw out of it. Some wiping abilities. This one's saved me a couple times in terms of just getting, you know, a lot of creatures off the board and dealing with it. Same thing. This one's good for getting rid of Obstone or what's the green-white privileged position. That one I've seen a lot and I've been able to take care of with this one. You know, Austere, no path. It's like, oh, you get a land, cool. You know, return to dust, and then you get into some of the more blockbuster plays. You know, Rite of Replication. You know, it's like a standard in pretty much any of the blue decks. This one's good for the late game. You know, just taking people's creatures and over and over until they have nothing left. It's not, it should have been over there, but, you know, land cards, some draw, and some enchantments, you know, getting people to not attack me so I could sit and I could do my thing from kind of my stoop, you know. Tap, some moat action, more propaganda, mob ring. Now this is one of the big win cons in the deck. You know, you don't see a lot of people playing it, but this with I have Guile in here as one of the creatures, and being able to generate, you know, infinite birds can be a funny way to win out. But, you know, it's very hard to deal with because unless you have a creature that destroys enchantments, you know, they're out there. But unless they're specifically looking for it, it's kind of hard to deal with. You know, another defensive spell. You know, very defensive deck, and then it just has some very aggressive ways to deal with people. So another wipe. So, you know, your classic suite of EDH cards. Your Solemn, your Signet. Your top, just got that, pretty sweet. Soul Ring. Some shiny border posts. I love Twitter. Follow everybody on Twitter. go find us. Veil. You know, this guy helps you out a good deal in terms of, you know, topping off those counter spells and kind of dealing with, you know, what people are throwing at you. Being able to tap people's creatures out is really important. You know, propaganda on a body. You know, just a huge wall. Fate Spinner just locks people out for, you know, oodles amounts of time. Denser bounces just about anything. You know, Titan gets back, you know, tutors and whatnot, so you can use them. This one works well, great with Dovescape because you can only play creature spells. So when you know, people get out a huge amount of birds, you just drop this in, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, there's a being able to give him, you know, ways around them blocking with the chump blockers is really important. Phantasms gives good transmutability. Image is a good general killer. I've used it on, you know, numerous creatures, pretty sweet. Another tutor, pretty much. Abolisher. This has been an absolute beast in this deck because people, you know, suddenly now they have to do things on their turns, and then I just control them out with it anyways. So, going to do some mull drifting, you know. Spellskite does a lot of funny things, especially when it comes to people trying to enchant, you know, creatures I'm trying to attack them with. So, my Spanish Frost Titan, one of the only 3 booster packs I bought from M12, and I was like, alright, I'm done. That works for me. So, and then of course the big finisher, this guy does a great amount of work in this deck, and, you know, especially with Dovescape on the board, it just kind of, you know, people just kind of look at you and they kind of shrug and they don't know what to do with it. So, you know.
Thank you for watching CMDR decks. Please subscribe and favorite.